If you ask 10 Call of Duty fans what the greatest game in the franchise is, chances are half of them are going to say Black Ops 1 and the other half are going to say Black Ops 2. These two games completely changed Call of Duty, and even today, over a decade later, people are still arguing which one deserves the crown. So today, we are settling the debate. We're comparing Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2 in every major category: campaign, multiplayer, maps, guns, zombies, progression, graphics, and even which game is more fun to play in 2026. By the end of the video, I'll give my final verdict, but I'm also curious what you think. So before we get started, let me know in the comment section below, Team Black Ops 1 or Team Black Ops 2. Let's get into it. To understand why these games are remembered so fondly, you have to remember the time they released. Black Ops 1 launched in 2010 after Modern Warfare 2 completely changed Call of Duty. Expectations couldn't have been higher, but Treyarch delivered something that felt unique instead of copying Infinity Ward. They leaned into Cold War espionage, secret missions, memorable characters, and darker atmospheres. Then, 2 years later, Black Ops 2 arrived, and instead of staying on the same path, Treyarch took a huge risk by jumping into the near future. There were futuristic weapons, drones, new technology, and mechanics we'd never seen in Call of Duty before. At first, a lot of players weren't sure about the futuristic settings, but over time, Black Ops 2 became one of the most loved Call of Duty games ever made. What's interesting is that both games succeeded for completely different reasons. Black Ops 1 focused on realism, mystery, and atmosphere. Black Ops 2 focused on speed, competitive balance, and innovation. That's why comparing them is so difficult. Let's start with the campaign. Personally, I think Black Ops 1 has one of the greatest campaign Call of Duties have ever made. From the very first mission, you're asking questions: who is Mason? What do the numbers mean? Can you actually trust what you're seeing? The story constantly keeps you guessing until the ending, and that twist is still one of the biggest surprises in Call of Duty history. Characters like Woods, Hudson, Reznov, and Mason have become legends. Even if you've never played Black Ops 1, you've probably heard someone say, "The numbers, Mason, what do they mean?" That line became iconic. Now let's talk about Black Ops 2. Instead of telling one straight story, Treyarch introduced branching missions, where your choices actually changed the ending. That was something completely new for Call of Duty. You could fail objectives, different characters could survive, different endings were possible depending on how you played. That added replay value that previous Call of Duty campaigns didn't really have. The villain, Raul Menendez, is also considered one of the best villains in the franchise. He's not just evil for the sake of being evil, he has motivations, a backstory, and moments where you almost understand why he became who he is. So, which campaign wins? If you're looking for the better overall story, emotional moments, and unforgettable twists, I have to give the edge to Black Ops 1. But if replayability and player choice matter more to you, Black Ops 2 definitely deserves a lot of credit. For me, this category goes to Black Ops 1. Now it's time for the category that probably matters most: multiplayer. This is where the debate really begins, because these two games take completely different approaches. Black Ops 1 focused on slower, more methodical gameplay. Black Ops 2 sped everything up with smoother movement, faster gunfights, and one of the most balanced multiplayer experiences Call of Duty has ever seen. And honestly, this category is a lot closer than people remember. Now, let's get into what most people actually remember these games for. This is where the debate gets really interesting because Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2 have two completely different styles. Black Ops 1 feels heavier, movement is a little slower, gunfights last slightly longer, and positioning matters more than constantly sprinting around the map. Black Ops 2, on the other hand, feels incredibly smooth. Everything from sprinting to aiming and even mantling feels faster and more responsive. Even today, a lot of players say Black Ops 2 has some of the best movement in the entire Call of Duty franchise, and honestly, I can see why. Now let's start with the maps because they're one of the biggest reasons people still come back to these old games. Black Ops 1 had classics like Nuketown, Firing Range, Summit, Jungle, Havana, WMD, Grid, Array, and Launch. These maps had personality. Every one of them felt unique. You weren't just fighting in another generic military base. You were battling in snowy mountains, Cuban cities, jungle outposts, secret Soviet facilities, and rocket launch sites. The atmosphere was incredible. Now let's look on Black Ops 2. You got Raid, Standoff, Slums, Express, Hijacked, Plaza, Cargo, Meltdown, Overflow. Honestly, this might be one of the strongest map lineups Call of Duty has ever had. Raid is still played in private matches today. Standoff became a competitive favorite. Hijacked became so popular that Activision kept bringing it back in later Call of Duty games. Very few Black Ops 2 maps were outright bad. Most of them flowed extremely well regardless of whether you were playing Team Deathmatch, Domination, Hardpoint, or Search and Destroy. If I had to pick a winner here, as much as I love Firing Rage and Summit, I think Black Ops 2 barely takes the win. Its maps were simply more consistent from top to bottom. Now, let's talk about weapons. Black Ops 1 had some absolute classics: the Galil, the Commando, the FAMAS, the AK-47, the AUG, the MP5K, the AK-74U, the L96A1 Sniper. These guns didn't just feel powerful, they sounded incredible. Every weapon had its own identity. Now Black Ops 2 answered with weapons like the MSMC, the AN94, the MAA1, the PDW-57, the DSR-50, and the Ballista. And the Peacekeeper was a DLC weapon. Some of the most memorable guns Treyarch has ever created. One thing I really appreciate about Black Ops 2 is how balanced most of these weapons were. Some were stronger than others, but they weren't many guns that felt completely useless. You could pick up almost anything and still compete if you played well. That's one of the reasons competitive players love this game. Personally, I think Black Ops 1 wins for the nostalgia and weapon sound design, but Black Ops 2 wins for overall balance. Now, let's get into the creative class for each Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2. This might actually be one of the biggest differences between these games. Black Ops 1 used the classic Call of Duty class system: primary weapon, secondary, equipment, you get 3 perks, done, simple, easy to understand. Then Treyarch completely changed everything with Black Ops 2's Pick 10 system. Instead of forcing everyone to use the same setup, you could spend your 10 points however you wanted. Want 6 attachments on your gun? Go ahead. Want to run no secondary weapon? That's your choice. Want 6 perks instead? You could do that as well. It completely changed how players built classes. Even today, many people still consider Pick 10 the greatest creative class system Call of Duty has ever introduced. And honestly, I agree. It rewarded creativity instead of forcing everyone into the exact same loadout. Easy point for Black Ops 2. Another huge improvement came with score streaks. Black Ops 1 still used kill streaks. If you weren't getting kills, you weren't earning streaks. Black Ops 2 rewarded objective play. Capturing flags, holding hard points, playing the objective, everything helped build towards your streaks. That made objective modes much more rewarding. It encouraged teamwork instead of everyone hiding in corners trying to protect a kill streak. It was one of the smartest gameplay changes Treyarch has ever made. Then there's League Play. This was years ahead of its time. Skill divisions, competitive rules, visible rankings, balanced gameplay. Black Ops 2 helped lay the foundation for modern ranked Call of Duty. If you enjoyed competitive multiplayer, this game was incredible. Even casual players still remember grinding League Play late into the night trying to rank up. That's something about Black Ops 1 simply didn't have. So after looking at the maps, weapons, the movement, the Pick 10 system, score streaks, and League Play, I have to give multiplayer to Black Ops 2. Not because Black Ops 1 was bad, that's far from it, but Black Ops 2 refined almost everything Treyarch has learned from the previous games. It's smoother, better balanced, more competitive, and honestly, it's one of the best multiplayer experiences Call of Duty has ever produced. Now, let's talk about the mode that turned Call of Duty into more than just a multiplayer game: zombies. This is honestly one of the hardest categories to judge because both games did completely different things. Black Ops 1 built on the success of World at War and gave us what many players consider the golden age of classic zombies. You had Kino der Toten, 5, Ascension, Call of the Dead, Shangri-La, Moon, and if you bought the Resurrection DLC, you could even play the original World at War maps. Each map had its own personality. Kino was simple, perfect for beginners. 5 was chaotic and challenging. Call of the Dead introduced an unforgettable celebrity cast. Moon completely changed the formula with low gravity, the hacker device, and one of the biggest story moments in zombie history. The atmosphere in Black Ops 1 Zombies was unmatched. It felt creepy, mysterious, and unpredictable. Every round felt tense, especially when you were low on ammo and trying to survive. Then came Black Ops 2. Instead of playing it safe, Treyarch experimented. Some ideas worked really well, others were much more divisive. The launch map Transit is probably the best example. Some players love how ambitious it was with the bus, fog, and multiple locations. Others hated constantly waiting for the bus, dealing with the denizens, and traveling across such a huge map. Even today, Transit is one of the most debated zombies map ever made. But Black Ops 2 didn't stop there. It gave us Mob of the Dead, Origins, Buried, and Die Rise. Mob of the Dead is still considered one of the greatest zombies map ever created. The atmosphere, the prison setting, the characters, the soundtrack, everything came together perfectly. Then there's Origins. For many fans, Origins is the greatest zombies map of all time. The elemental staffs, the giant robots, the Easter egg, the progression system, it completely changed what a zombies map could be. If someone asked me which single zombies map I'd play for the rest of my life, Origins would definitely be near the top of the list. So, who wins zombies? If you like simple, classic survival with incredible atmosphere, Black Ops 1 is hard to beat. But if you enjoy deeper Easter eggs, bigger quests, and maps packed with content, Black Ops 2 takes it to another level. For me, Black Ops 2 barely wins this category because Mob of the Dead and Origins are just that good. Now, let's talk about something people don't always mention: atmosphere. Black Ops 1 had a gritty Cold War look. Everything felt darker: the menus, the music, the maps, even the color palette made the game feel serious. It had an identity. You knew you were playing Black Ops the moment the menu loaded. Now, Black Ops 2 looked cleaner and sharper. The graphics improved thanks to newer technology, and the futuristic setting let Treyarch experiment with brighter environments and more advanced equipment. Visually, Black Ops 2 is the more polished game, but atmosphere wise, I actually think Black Ops 1 wins. It has a mood that very few Call of Duty games has ever matched. Alright, now let's talk about sound design. This might sound like a small detail, but weapon sounds matter. Black Ops 1 absolutely nailed this. The AK-47 sounded powerful, the Galil had its own unique punch, the FAMAS was instantly recognizable. Even reloading each weapon sounded satisfying. Black Ops 2 still sounds great, but I don't think the weapons have quite the same personality. If you played both games, you probably know exactly what I mean. This category goes to Black Ops 1. So which game keeps people coming back? Black Ops 1 gives you an incredible campaign, unforgettable multiplayer maps, and classic zombies. Black Ops 2 gives you a branching campaign with multiple endings, arguably the best competitive multiplayer Treyarch has ever made, league play, pick 10, and two of the greatest zombies maps ever created. For me, Black Ops 2 has slightly more replay value because there is just so much to do, especially if you're someone who enjoys multiplayer or zombies. So after comparing everything, let's count it up. The campaign, I'm going to give this to Black Ops 1. The story is unforgettable. Mason, Woods, Hudson, Reznov, and the numbers twist created one of the greatest campaigns Call of Duty has ever had. Now multiplayer, I'm giving this to Black Ops 2. The smoother movement, incredible map design, the pick 10, the score streaks, and league play make this one of the most polished multiplayer experiences in franchise history. Now zombies, I'm giving this to Black Ops 2 as well. Black Ops 1 gave us classics like Kino and Call of the Dead, but Origins and Mob of the Dead are two of the greatest zombies map ever created. That gives Black Ops 2 the edge for me. Now, for the maps, I'm also going to give this to Black Ops 2. You got Raid, Standoff, Hijack, Slums, and Express. There honestly aren't many weak maps in this game, so I'm giving that to Black Ops 2. Now, the atmosphere. I'm going to give this to Black Ops 1 because of the Cold War setting, the soundtrack, the darker menus, the gritty feeling. Nothing else quite captures the same vibe. Now, weapons and sound design. I'm going to give this to Black Ops 1 because the Galil, the Commando, and the AK-47, and the FAMAS, these guns weren't just fun to use, they sounded amazing and felt so unique. Now for innovation, I'm going to give this to Black Ops 2. The pick 10 system, the score streaks, the league play, branching campaign choices. Black Ops 2 wasn't afraid to take risks, and many of those ideas influenced future Call of Duty games. Now, for the biggest question, which game is actually better to play in 2026? If you're looking for an unforgettable campaign with incredible atmosphere and the nostalgic experience, Black Ops 1 is still one of the greatest Call of Duty games ever made. But if your main focus is multiplayer and zombies, I honestly think that Black Ops 2 has aged better. The movement still feels smooth, the maps are still incredible, the pick 10 system remains one of the best class systems Call of Duty has ever made, and the gameplay still feels modern enough that you can jump in today and have a great time. That's impressive for a game that released back in 2012. At the end of the day, I don't think there's a wrong answer. These are two of the greatest Call of Duty games ever made. Black Ops 1 gave us unforgettable memories. Black Ops 2 built on that foundation and pushed the series forward. If I had to choose just one, I'm giving the win to Black Ops 2. Not because it's perfect, but because I think it delivers the most complete Call of Duty experience overall. The multiplayer is legendary, the zombies mode is incredible, the replay value is outstanding, and more than a decade later, people are still talking about it. That's a sign of a truly great game. Now, I want to hear from you. Do you think I got it right? Is Black Ops 1 still the king, or does Black Ops 2 deserve the crown? Leave your answer in the comments and tell me why. I'm going to be reading as many comments as I can, and I cannot wait to see what everyone thinks. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more Call of Duty content, make sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications so you don't miss a future video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.